Oh, hello there. Club going up on a Tuesday afternoon. It has been a while. We got moving schedules trying to get things back in place, but we said, you know what? Need to get the show fired up. We got Andy, Jack, and Clay here. We'll catch up on what we've been up to these past couple of months, stuff in the NFT world, sports happenings, all that good stuff. Let's do it here. There we are, back in the mix. I mean, it's been so long that the last time we were broadcasting, Andy, you were in Connecticut. Are you finally in Brooklyn in the new place?
I am, yeah. We moved in like mid-December, but it's been like a pretty chaotic month and a half. Like moving in is a lot, and then moving in like over the holidays is double a lot. But
Oh yeah,
overall, yeah, pretty good.
and everything like with finishing the new place and all the final touches and everything, you're happy with it?
I mean, yeah, we're super happy with like how it all came out. We still haven't like bought all of our furniture yet and stuff. Like one furniture is so expensive. Holy shit. But also like we don't know how we want to do it, and so we've just been like putting shit off. So you can see there's like a bunch of boxes behind me. But we have like a office set up here. Here, let's do a little. This is like our home office. Allie's desk with the two cats asleep. Got a nice view. Let's see. Yeah, it's Empire State Building.
I've heard of it. Is it still projecting the green and gold here?
No, I mean that was wild.
I thought it was a fake tweet, to be honest.
I did too.
I saw it.
Do you guys know?
And I looked. I was like, Allie, the Empire State Building is Eagles colors. What the hell is going on?
So, do you guys know there's like a whole history with the Empire State Building and like Barstool?
No.
So that's why
for the building,
right? And so that is why, like, I know that the person running the account, like, they hire out. It's like an actual position. It's the social media role, I guess, for the Empire State Building. So there was a kid at Barstool, Bailey, who did a bunch of social media, and then he started an agency on the side for social media marketing and was doing work for the Empire State Building. And so it became like Portnoy had beef with Bailey, but like they would do it like at the Empire State Building. So that's how I know like that the tweet was very intentional. That's why I didn't think the tweet was fake. I thought there was no way they actually lit it up green and white. That seemed like an insane move. But hey, it's been the most viral thing on the internet. So credit to them.
Yeah, I mean, I can 100% confirm it was legit.
That's crazy. Clay, how are you doing? You don't look like you're in Brooklyn.
No, I'm playing a away game today. I switched places with Andy. I'm at my future in-laws in Connecticut because our nephew's in town from overseas. So getting a little quality time, but I'm good, man. Life's good. Really excited for this year. A lot of fun things happening on the Knights front, and most importantly, it's good to see y'all.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I saw the Empire State Building tweet about 1 million times. I've also been seeing 1 million tweets of the Knights of Degen betting app. People are in there. It seems like it's syncing well with the sports books, but you still continue to throw shade at us Android users, apparently.
Well, I'm going to fix that very, very soon, Pete, because you as my preferred Android user in life, got to optimize for it, man. Yeah, it's going great. So we're just, a few weeks into our beta. Right now, the primary functionality is you come in and sync your sports book. We're doing tournaments based on like ROI performance for the NFL playoffs. And it's like been really fun to test out with the community, do a lot of beta testing, and we'll be rolling a lot of functionality out around like March Madness brackets, and then fantasy football season 2. And doing a big push as well. Like when we get into March and it goes more out of the community beta, we have the Android version live. We make more of a public push. We're going to be offering like a wallet created solution for every new profile to help onboard a lot of people coming into the app, and doing it in a way where they won't even really have to like know what's happening, but to help bring them more into the Web3 scape. So we're excited about that too. A lot of fun stuff coming. It's gonna be really like a nice home base for everything we're doing, and a lot more to come to tie it all together.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that seems like exciting stuff. Jack, you've been you're done with your your NFL travel. Did you do any playoff NFL travel?
No playoff, but Friday starts the travel again, going to the Pro Bowl Friday. Well, sorry, the Tyler Huntley Invitational on
There you
Sunday. Then to Arizona for the week, where we'll be linking up to talk about my name here. I'm a little surprised I wasn't named the Godfather, but still hoping to be Uncle Jack.
Oh, that's you lobbying for what April's going to call you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Jack,
we'll talk. Well, I'll have my people talk to your people.
How down tremendous would I be if my daughter's first words were Uncle Jack? I think I would.
That
That'd
would
be
be that would be pretty much the low point. But yeah, I'm not a multimillionaire, unfortunately. Pat Crane got to be the lucky one there. But yeah, all things are good.
I know, Jack.
What was
you
your
always had-
highest scoring final team? What was your like top rank?
I only got into the semis. I didn't even make the finals.
Same, me either.
Yes. Yeah. I can't believe so much has happened since because I think we did what? We did one like, was it late November? We had Crutches on. We were talking about his fight in Dubai. And so it's been at least a full 2 months since we've last done it.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, there's been a lot that's gone on. Even like ignoring all the crypto stuff, we missed like the best ball finals and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I did sell a Top Shot for 5 figures. So
Ooh.
What was the sale?
I sold a James Harden to 25 or something. I don't know
Is
why
LeBron.
I checked it. No, but I got an offer on LeBron today for like 9K. But I was going through the offers, I guess, for some reason, and I saw the offer for 10K, and then I went to the marketplace and I saw like you could get a Zion Cosmic for 8K. You could get like some other like a Curry one for some, and I was like, I think James Harden is not a great collectible to own, to say the least. Like he's a
That was
fantastic
a really nice
player.
way. I thought you were going to go harder.
No, because he is a fantastic basketball player, and like I don't think he fully got recognized for how good he was in Houston, and he's been good for Philly. But like LeBron, Steph, Giannis, Luka, like there's so many players I'd rather own, even like the Zions of the world. So yeah, I made a nice sale there.
There you go. I need to log in sometime and accept some offers. It's been a while since I've logged in there.
They made it easier. You can accept them pretty easy. I've been.
I got yelled at in the DMs though because I'm an investor in Floaty, and Mike and Floaty had just launched the new marketplace stuff, and like I could have saved money on fees and stuff. But that's the thing, as Andy just said, it's very easy to just hit accept offer instead of listing it somewhere else, making sure people know about it. So yeah, made a sale.
There you go. There you go. Have things been? Do you feel, Andy, like picking up in the crypto world? I feel like I've seen just like more in the streets than we did. I don't know, even a couple months ago.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's not as bad as it was around like the FTX stuff. Like Canto and some weird stuff has been doing well. NFTs had like a hot second where people were into them, but that's seemingly like chilled out a bit again. It's been fine. I don't know. I feel like it's right now basically just like a bunch of people all like PvP against each other on chain. I'm not sure there's any like new fresh money coming into crypto. And so I've been spending a lot more of my like degen time doing daily fantasy stuff and like best ball playoff stuff.
I finished 5th in the DeBomb 3 this weekend. I was happy about
nice.
that. Yeah.
You could add that to your bio.
100 into 1,000. I mean, you talk about 10xing on a Sunday. That markets are closed. You got to find somewhere else to 10x your money.
I saw someone tweet out a couple days ago. It's been funny watching all of my friends uninstall Robinhood and Coinbase and download DraftKings and FanDuel.
Yeah, seriously. Although, good luck trying to play sports on FanDuel these days. It's an absolute disaster.
Why?
I
What
stick
happened?
to Underdog only.
They're just having all kinds of like tech issues. Like they're constantly asking you to reset your password. Issues. They've been canceling tournaments at the last minute. Just kind of a disaster over there.
Dude, I get locked out of my FanDuel Sportsbook account like once a week.
Yeah.
There is there's the one guy, what's his name? Chasing Points or something. He's like the hottest thing in gambling Twitter. He's doing the ladder challenges, and I've never seen do you follow Book It with Trent, or did you see him during his crazy? Okay. this guy is 10 times hotter than Trent ever was. And he takes like whatever, $100 or what's he starting with? $10. And so he's got to hit 10 bets in a row and he rolls the money over trying to get to 10,000. And he got like to 8 of 10. And then yesterday was 6 of 10. He has, I kid you not, I think like 5,000 people like riding the exact same thing as him. Harrison Barnes was the last leg of the thing last night. It was to score 10 points at minus 1,200, and he had 8 points. And apparently, like he like go look at his Twitter. The replies are some of the funniest things in the world.
Wait, so is it just a 10-leg parlay that he does?
No. So he does. He just gets the bet up to even money, but it'll be like Tyler Hero to score 15, Barnes to score 10, LeBron to have 4 assists, like these minus 400.
Really high
Yeah.
chance.
It's honestly the Vegas Dave approach to gambling, where he gives out like minus 50,000 plays and says,
no, because they do land at even money when you kind of put them all together, and he's now done it like. But he has gained. I mean, it's insane. But the Harrison Barnes thing was just so funny because I had seen it on TikTok. I didn't realize how like many people were then just tailing him. Like he'll send out one tweet of 8,000 likes on just like, oh my god, and everyone knows what he's talking about because they're all watching the same thing. It's pretty cool. It's crazy though.
Have you guys seen the people? I was wondering when you were going to say the Harrison Barnes thing, where because these sports books as a promo will sometimes be like, oh, this player got injured, so we will still accept the bet. That now everyone's like entitled. Like one thing happens, they're like, oh, Brock Purdy, like
ridiculous.
I should be hitting my 9-leg parlay on that. Like the people have gotten so entitled with this stuff.
That was, I mean, underdogs. We've talked about it before of like the risk of like offering people their money back without kind of setting a standard. PointsBet was the one who used to do it, right? They're good karma, and that they were like the OGs. And now people who get their money back when Luka rolls his ankle, but don't for LeBron, are like freaking out. I do think like they have a little bit of a like. If FanDuel's saying bet with us because when you get screwed, you'll get your money back, and then they don't continue to do that, I get why people would bail on the book potentially, but I don't know.
People say that, but everyone out here gambling has like a mental illness and is not going to stop gambling anyway. So like your threats are
but they could gamble at a different book.
They could, but like most people like playing where they play because of the ease of use or it's comfortable or whatever. I don't know. I would call the bluff on most people threatening to go elsewhere on those things.
My CPA, I talked to him on the phone this morning because we got a bunch of invoices for last year, and it was like $1,500 to file like one thing, and I was like, could I like do this myself? Is this something like I probably shouldn't use you guys for? And he was like, 100%, but I know you're not going to. So I was like, you're very right. You are very right. But I just wanted to think about the thought of saving $1,500 there.
Yeah, Jack, do you feel like you're owed residuals on all these, $10 to $10K, $100 to $100K challenges that are out there right now? You were
seriously,
the OG.
I was the
Jack.
What was What was I trying to turn into $100,000? Was it $100 or $1,000?
I thought it was
I think it was $1 million.
No. I was that.
I mean, in the Top Shot Bull Run, you might have convinced yourself.
No, I genuinely think it was 100 into 100K. No, maybe it's 1,000, which sounds insane. But I am going to see LeBron tonight at the Garden, so I'm hoping maybe Rich Paul is there. We can set up a meeting about the Top Shot moment. We still have it. It's still saved up for Bronny.
I bet LeBron triple-double tonight.
Him and then tell him I'll undercut you by 10%.
You don't. No one wants the number one cereal. He wants the 23. Remember, that's the pieces of the play. Wait, Jack, I think Top Shot burned like all the.
They burned all the one-of-ones.
Yeah. So now LeBron's really in a fickle situation.
Yeah, it'd be LeBron's a good bit totally if you did a video saying that your new goal is to sell that 23 moment to LeBron James for $1,000. Would you sell? Hang on, Jack. Real talk. You got to meet LeBron. You get to shoot the video of you transferring the moment. He has, $100, $100 bills that he gives to you. Would you make that trade for the content play?
Wait, $100 bills? So that's
Yeah, you
that's
guys said
10
10
grand. That's 10
10 grand,
You
yeah.
said 1 grand. You said 1 grand.
Sorry, I mean 10 grand.
So
10 grand and the content play of meeting and transferring
right.
LeBron. This moment.
As the king of content plays, obviously that's intriguing. But given that
As the king of
there's-
hypotheticals, I knew it would be.
but given the realisticness of my investors, I don't think they would be very excited about that. The real question would be, we bought it for like 47.5, so let's call it 50. Would they want to sell it for 100 grand right now? Like, would they be good just cleaning out and just being like, all right, 2x, it was what it was. I don't know.
You're saying your group of investors, if you sent out a distribution in the form of engagements and views, that they wouldn't be happy with their cash out?
If now I am taking my cousin, who's a huge LeBron fan, so maybe if I got like 2 of us to get value out of it, maybe it becomes more interesting, but probably would have a tough time selling that.
Yeah. What was the thing I keep seeing on my time? LeBron was just throwing like the biggest hissy fit ever the other night in Boston.
Warranted.
Oh my god.
Warranted.
I plead the
So-
fifth.
Warranted.
So there was a really bad no foul call on LeBron, but all right, so there's like a little bit to it. It was an intense game against the Celtics, close game, horrible officiating. Like the entire fourth quarter was it was a bummer because the game was really fun. Officiating was awful. And then LeBron is like going up for a layup with like essentially no time left.
Yeah, it was a buzzer
And-
beater almost.
And he is clearly fouled and doesn't get the foul call. And he just has like a breakdown on the court. Like he's running around, he like falls on the ground.
It was like a
it's
literal
whole
temper
thing.
tantrum. Like
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so.
Yeah.
It actually, in the moment, like Andy was saying, the game was so good and so intense. It's a Lakers Celtics rivalry. LeBron's on this points chase. The Celtics are the top team. In the moment, like I didn't think it obviously looked ridiculous, but after the fact, it actually looks like the biggest like joke of all time. Like to have that reaction is the most hysterical thing. Like you're the greatest basketball player of all time, and you're acting like a 3-year-old. Still love you, LeBron, and respect your game, and you're the GOAT. But
It was a content play.
yeah, it was hilarious.
play.
And then Pat Beverly, did you see that? Pat Bev,
Yeah, the
with
camera.
meme of the year. Yeah. He walked over with
was
someone's
so
camera.
good.
That's amazing. He got a tech for that. So, yeah.
And I feel like I've gotten to know Pat Beverly a little bit more because on TikTok, I'll see his podcast clips that he does with Roan from Barstool. And like, he's legit cracked me up. And like,
He's funny.
having a little bit more of a backstory on him and then seeing him do that. I don't listen to that podcast, but I would be very curious to hear him break down what happened there.
Do you listen to the Kelsey Brothers podcast? Because I do the same thing. I just see clips. But I'm curious, like,
heard it's
who
great.
listens. Yeah. I don't know who
Yeah,
I'll listen
listens,
to it.
though.
Well, I
We
think
should get a
I
big
think I
bump
heard
in listeners this week.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
I know the next 2 weeks. Like,
Do you think it'll be the
opportunity for them.
most downloaded? Someone said they think it could be the most downloaded sports podcast episode ever.
No, Bill Simmons has some that like there's no way. Like when Bill Simmons interviewed like Barack Obama for the first time or something. Like, granted, it's not totally a sports podcast, but like,
Right.
those definitely had some pretty insane.
They would
downloads.
need to do something like with a legitimate hook. Like they set up this insane bet versus the two of them. They have their mom come on and she has
That's
to
it.
decide who's her
Mom.
favorite. Like they
Yeah.
would need a hook to get you. I'm not just going to fire up a podcast because both of them are on it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're not? Like, I actually feel
I'm
like
not listening to that.
I would. For the
No,
Super Bowl,
if they had a hook, but I'm not just going to go fire
Right.
it up to hear them be
Right.
like, yeah, we both respect each other. Should be fun.
okay. What if some kid cured 1,000 people of their blindness? Would you watch that?
I have not watched the Mr. Beast video yet, but I have seen that floating around. on
It
Twitter.
got 50 million views in 24 hours. Best part about this is that
He's
the
getting shit
people
for it.
who believe the NFL is rigged are also mad at Mr. Beast for the video.
They're mad at him.
Wild.
They're mad.
Yeah, people are mad at him
Yeah,
for it.
mad at
They're
everything.
saying it's
People
like
are
taking advantage of people's blindness to make money.
for content.
And he's like, I literally paid money to cure these people of blindness.
People have finally been fed up with how many views Mr. Beast can socially engineer that they're lashing out at him on literally helping people fucking see.
Correct.
North
Literally
Carolina
So
treasure.
ridiculous.
That
man.
is
We're
like,
so funny.
and I
Here's a
actually think
question.
on the scale of being like Mr. Beast is clearly smart, clearly calculated, knows exactly what he's doing, knows what levers he's pulling. But to me, he doesn't scan as like super cynical. Like it does seem like doing something like that brings him joy. He knows it's going to be a smash. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's like, I don't know. I feel like there's more depth to Mr. Beast than just someone trying to get views.
That's been his whole persona. And there's not even like one knock on him to say that it's not, right? Like a lot, like if Logan Paul did it, you know, there might be a little back history of
Right.
foul play, but yeah, Mr. B, he seems like an angel.
But when you like listen
we'll
to him on like pods too, it's like if this is a character, if he's like a character writer, if this is some kind of like persona that he's like putting up a front about, like it'd be pretty hard to like have this kind of consistency. Like I've spent a lot of time like listening to him over the past 6 months, like about like YouTube short strategy and like TikTok strategy and just like I think he's like one of the smartest people when it comes to like social platform algorithms and like how you think about.
I don't think he's one of. I think it's like very clear he is
the yeah, sure.
He
right.
got
I wasn't trying to speak in
million.
absolutes here, but
yeah,
no doubt.
But he's one that you can talk about like
it
that.
just
Like,
always comes across so genuine. Yeah, man. Proud to say, fellow North
and like
Carolinian.
he didn't. I think the biggest tell all is that he didn't release an NFT project during the bull run. I think that's
how you
like.
know.
Yeah, that's how you know he's not a grifter in the slightest because everyone else did.
What would Mr.
He could have
Beast
made
NFT
so much
be?
if he'd wanted to.
He could have made. I don't even know how much he could have. I think his play would have been the Mr. Beast coin, and it was just like you invest in me and you get access to my content and every.
Sounds like
I
a
feel like
Man's
he would have
Point
done
ripoff.
something more creative.
No, he would have. I'm saying, yeah, that would have been the easiest thing, I guess.
Mr. Beast
Yeah.
Open Edition.
Yeah, explain to me this meta, Andy. What's the open edition meta going on right now?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I think it's funny and interesting. It's basically like artists are releasing like really cheap open editions where it's like you can mint this for the next 24 hours. It's anywhere from $10 to $100, pretty affordable. Have fun. And people have gotten really mad about it, which is like kind of weird because people are just buying a lot of these NFTs. And so, like, I think people are saying it's like a cash grab or whatever, which I'm sure some of them are, but like, they're not forcing anyone to buy this shit. So, like, who cares? It's like, I don't know. It's very interesting, but like some artists are making several $1 million from like a single open edition sale, which is totally crazy. And like, orders of magnitude more than they would make in a one-of-one sale. Some of them have done really well. A lot of them have, as far as like price action goes, has not done very well. But yeah, I don't think there's really like that much to talk about with it, to be honest. Just like artists are selling their NFTs as open editions, and like some people are really excited and happy to buy them, and some people are like degens trying to gamble on them, and like that's generally not going well, and so they're getting mad at the artists for doing it, which is like
silly.
kind of weird.
That's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think it's in vogue now? Because wasn't like Nifty Gateway was doing all kinds of open edition launches throughout the bowl?
Yeah, I think that like it's a lot of new artists, and this is kind of a lot of people's first opportunity to like really get access to their artwork. And then a couple of them have done really well, and so other people are like speculating based on that. So like, for example, Checks by Jack Butcher is like a big one that he sold like 16,000 of the same image for $8 a piece. And now the floor is like 0.6 ETH or something ridiculous. So it's done like 1,000x over the course of like 2 weeks, which is totally insane.
Who isn't selling if they bought like 100 of those?
Well, so he's doing this thing where basically, and so like in his example, there's like this other more that he's going to do with it. And like, I like was talking to him in DMs a little bit about it, and he was like, yeah, I really didn't expect this many would sell. And so he's like doing other stuff with it to make it interesting. And so it started out with like 80 check marks in like a grid. and they're introducing this interesting like burn mechanic where you can like burn 2 and then you get one that's 40 check marks, and then you can burn 2 of those and get one that's 20. And essentially out of like this, if you were to burn like a quarter of the supply, you would get this like black check mark that you can only ever actually have 3, I think, based on the total supply, but it's just under 1/4 of the supply, or just over, I should say, 1/4 of the supply to get. And so it's like this kind of interesting like burn mechanic thing where if you burn a bunch of them, you can get like a significantly rarer one.
So if you spend $5 million or $2.5 million, you could get a black check mark.
Pretty much, yeah. Doesn't that sound enticing?
The new age verification is costly these days.
Goodness. So have you messed around with any of them? Have any piqued your interest, or do you just think it's kind of just a quick fad?
I think some of the art's really awesome. My kind of general theory is that like it's really, really hyped right now, and so people are probably minting more than they would otherwise. And so I'm kind of like keeping tabs on all of the ones that I think are cool, and I'll buy a bunch when all the people who are just buying them because it's hyped and trying to flip them go away and want to sell. Like a lot of these you can already buy for below mint price. And so it's like right now, maybe it's a little ridiculous to have, 5,000 of an edition by a particular artist. But like if you think they're good and you think people will like them, in 10 years, a 1 of 5,000 edition is like not that ridiculous. And so I think if you like have a long-term mindset about it, there will be opportunities probably to buy like kind of like distressed editions from these artists if people are just buying them because of the FOMO and hype and trying to flip them. So I'm generally sitting out of the mints themselves and kind of just like keeping tabs on some of the ones that I like and think are cool.
That's like how anytime I have a big purchase I want to make, where you bookmark it and you're like, if I still really want this in a couple of weeks, then I'll treat myself to it. And otherwise, if I don't remember it, then I probably didn't need to buy it in the first place.
Yeah,
that's how I am with my with lots of things. So yes, there you go. Bookmark your favorite open editions and then buy them for extremely cheap in a couple of weeks. Have you been? What can you explain to me, Andy? This Canto stuff. What's going on with that?
Yeah. So Canto is not that new. I don't know, like 6 months old L1 blockchain. Kind of in the same way that like Avalanche or all these different ones. Its whole thing is that it was like a fair launch. There's no real like team. I mean, there is a team who kind of like work on it, but it's like super decentralized. The meme with Canto is that it's Web plus, not Web 3, which is really funny. And it's just like this really weird, like it feels like kind of very much so back to a lot of the like crypto nativeness stuff of like it's kind of hard to bridge your funds over, and like the UIs on things aren't necessarily great, but it's fast and cheap and they're doing really interesting things. And so it's kind of like this interesting play on like alt L1 that doesn't necessarily have a lot of like the risk aversion of some of these other ones that can be like a little bit more edgy, both in like the way that it markets itself, but also like some of the tech that it does. And so like most recently, I think something they did that was super interesting. And I guess one other thing is kind of native to the chain is this idea that some core infrastructure should actually be free public goods as opposed to protocols owned by third parties. And so instead of having Uniswap and Compound, like instead of having a marketplace, like an AMM and a lending market, those are things that are just like native to Canto that have no fees because they're just like owned by the protocol, by like the blockchain itself, which is very interesting. And so that was kind of like the start of it as like a just differentiator. But now what they've started to experiment with is something that had been like thrown around for Ethereum here and there, but like was kind of always just like too risky and too unknown to ever actually get implemented, which is this idea of, I don't remember what they're calling it for Canto, but essentially as a developer, if you deploy a smart contract that people use, you can essentially register a fee receiver and get a percentage of the gas fees paid to you. So you could theoretically make your contract free to use. And like, so the goal is to try to incentivize developers to make things that are free and public goods, and to have the blockchain be able to like self-sustainably pay for those things. And so if you make a contract, say like a NFT marketplace, like let's say for example OpenSea, instead of having a 2.5% fee, they were free to use, but they got 25% of all the gas fees that were ever used on OpenSea. And that was just like how the blockchain paid these projects. And so they are experimenting with what I think is like some pretty interesting and kind of like novel mechanisms that don't exist on other blockchains. But it's also like this weird, like very crypto Twitter native meme kind of blockchain itself.
And do you think the incentives are there to actually get developers to build over there versus other chains?
I think so. I think like, so I judged their most recent hackathon I guess like 2 weeks ago, and there were some really legit projects that were doing stuff. And I think though, like, so I think one thing that's underrated with the potential to have this like fee refund system essentially to devs is like there are a lot of risks in trying to monetize in other ways, whether it's like regulatory risks of launching a token or all these different things that like take time and energy and work to figure out. And so like, I think to some devs, it's like actually just like more convenient to just have that, like just to kind of get paid for usage. That's like pretty nice and easy, and it's not hard to explain to people. And so I think that like, that's really valuable. And so I've seen some pretty legit teams kind of do stuff. We just saw the first like actually legitimate, I shouldn't say that. I don't know what else is out there, but like first, like generative artist who has been launching generative art on other blockchains launched something on Canto. And so we're starting to see like the NFT market on Canto pick up a little bit. And the same thing, like there's a free marketplace that has no fees, and they just registered to receive fees on usage. And so they can make money as long as people use their marketplace, even though they don't have any fees. And so it's pretty interesting. It's still very niche. It's not a ton of people who are like, you know, owners are participating, but it's kind of fun.
Interesting. Clay, you were nodding along about regulatory hoops that you have to jump through for some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just token experience is wild. We've been working on ours for a year now with Horizon Labs, other partners as well. We're getting closer and closer and excited for it. But yeah, it's not an easy process. And like, you know, when we first started putting in the effort back January of 2022, you know, it's a process to roll it out, especially if you're a US based team, different regulations and stuff there as well and everything. But it's, you know, exciting nonetheless. I still think for us, we have a lot of excitement and appetite for ours because of a lot of the use cases and things that we'll be utilizing it for, using our app and other stuff as well. So we're excited about it. We think we're ready for the challenge for supporting one, and because it just makes a lot of sense for how we want to build out our ecosystem. And we're just, you know, really trying to take a different approach. And I think how a lot of people think of tokens in the space so far, especially ones that are adjacent to NFT projects or Web3 companies and so forth.
Also, I know, you know, roars, not floors and stuff, but KOD floor, not too shabby these days. I keep getting offers on mine.
I don't even know what it's at, to be honest.
I thought it was at like 0.3 the other day when I looked.
Nice,
yeah, it's not doing too bad.
Yeah. Staying consistent. We've been honestly probably the best stable coin in the space over the last like 6 months or so.
I realized that. Did you hear what I said though? Could you tell what I said?
When you were muted, did I hear what you? I didn't read your lips.
Muted.
No.
I said Clay's a builder. He doesn't even have the open seat. Yes,
we out here,
he's
baby.
A builder.
Yeah, sorry. I know there are a few people who were shocked by the return. I saw some people who wanted more of a heads up than 30 minutes. Maybe that's fair. Maybe 30 minutes is a bit of a shotgun start. Sorry, Leany. Normally I will send a carrier pigeon to your mansion in bumfuck England or wherever you are next time. So I apologize for that, Leany. Let's see here. Andy, are you still deep in the So Rare streets? Are you grinding that?
A bit. I play every week's contests, but I'm not buying more stuff. I kind of like had an amount that I was going to put in to buy some stuff and play. I've been like a little bit fucked on some bad luck with players that I bought. Like I got like a Cade Cunningham, pretty rare one that's like out for the season, and a few other things like that, which is tough. But
Did you ask for a refund, Andy? I'm just curious. Like,
yeah,
did you go to like a
it's so rare.
sports book
Do
and ask
I
for
get
a
a
refund?
refund that my purchase didn't work out?
All right, my hot take is that it's not that so rare isn't interesting. It's that the NBA season has been just extremely uninteresting. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. The sport is just like the total for Hornets Bucks tonight is 242 points. Like, how could that be entertaining to anyone? Like, every play in an 82 game season, now you're saying that every play is like meaningless. Like 242 points.
Wait, so
is
sorry, that's
insane.
the take that there's no defense? Is that the
There's
take?
no defense. 242 points is insanity.
Yeah.
Jack, you just got to pivot to taking overs, man, and then you're pulling for the points.
Yeah, it's not great for Mr. Undersman, although I did hit Jurkic under. Like last night, like DeJounte and
blowout's an
Dame
issue.
each had
blowout's an
40
issue.
points. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
the amount of like
it's-
50 and 40-point games we're seeing
Games
is crazy.
dropping.
yeah,
Games.
it's funny. You would think it would be more interesting, but I just find it hard in a game. Yeah, I'm not a defense max.
Yeah, me either,
but I
Ryan.
guess- you wouldn't think it, but yeah, I don't know. It's really.
I think where I do agree is that it feels to me like I'm not watching as much basketball as I used to. I still
Yeah.
follow and like
Right.
I like the drama and it's interesting.
Right.
I'm excited to watch the playoffs. But like on any given night, I'm like not super excited to turn on a random game as
Like
as I
that, like
was
the
a few years
TNT
ago.
Tuesday or Thursday night, like those were, I would always turn those on. Now I like rarely find myself tuning into them.
I got a little bit of a different take. I do agree that the national TV schedule, I don't think is as good this year. At least has it. The games haven't been as good on the national TV games. However, like last night, Timberwolves and the Kings, fantastic game. Came down to the end, was like
But
very
who the
competitive, very
fuck-
entertaining.
Who?
Well, I'm a sicko. I enjoy watching that because I got League Pass now, so I'm like really in my bag. But I'm, got bets going. We're doing tournaments in our app and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of reason to watch but bigger games. But my point is, like, one, there are way more blowouts than before, which sucks. Like most
So
games you
many
turn on, it's like a
blowouts,
30-point, blowout. Or the good games are not the national TV ones. So that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
But really going back to the points question, Jack. Here's my question for you: can LeBron break 2 records tonight and drop 117 points in the Garden?
So
absurd in my opinion.
the funniest fucking part about that was when I landed in Newark yesterday. What, today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, yesterday. He had been announced out, and FanDuel still had him to break the record at MSG at 200-1. And I thought, with all the regulation that is in America right now, you're telling me that FanDuel can legally allow people to bet on him scoring 117 points in a game at 200-1, nonetheless. Not even at like
That's
million to
odds
1.
are awful.
If
I was
you
sprinkling
offer,
1,000,000-1. Hell
right,
yeah, I'm sprinkling.
if you put up the
Never say
odds
never,
at
man.
1,000,000-1,
Witness greatness.
I'm pretty sure everyone on the earth would bet it.
Yeah.
So what
How
this
fun would
is
that
this is
You
like
always take
promo
1,000,000-1.
that they're doing.
So LeBron is
No,
117 points away from breaking.
Yeah, they're doing. You can bet when he's going to break it.
Like what
And so
game?
after he had been announced out, he only had one game to play, the Knicks game, and they were still offering it 200-1. Now it's tomorrow, or the next game against Indiana is 200-1. So if he drops 67 tonight and 50,
gotcha.
which still feels illegal because he's not scoring 120 points over the
in
next
2
two games.
games.
But I
LeBron,
wanted
man.
to bet the Warriors at plus 500 because it's going to be planned.
It's gonna be the
He's
Bucks.
going to plan it.
It's the Bucks. It's the Bucks. Here it is. It's a primetime game on TNT. Kareem's first team in the NBA was the Bucks.
I know.
LeBron loves that kind of narrative shit. I'm here for it.
No, of course he does.
It
But
checks all the boxes. It's
the
a perfect
old-
amount of games away. He could even take a game off and still hit it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
Like,
it's going to be the Warriors because I feel like the Warriors has defined the entire back half of his career. And I think if I were a betting man with mental illness, as
Which you're
Overzet
not.
said,
Which you are.
I don't have a mental. I would sprinkle a couple bucks on the Warriors game at home. Potentially, maybe even post All-Star break. It wouldn't shock me if he sat out.
All-Star.
Jack, is this theory that he's going to miss games and like sandbag to set a record in a
100%.
specific game?
He's gonna do it for the game, for
1,000%.
sure. For sure. He would have done it in the
1000
Garden. I guarantee it would have been tonight at the Garden if it had
Wait.
worked out a little bit. If he had a few more games under his belt this year, had the injury and
Obviously.
stuff. He's happy
If it was if he had
Why does
gotten
it matter when he does it?
because it's
'Cause it's
LeBron.
LeBron.
man.
it's
Everything
LeBron
matters.
fucking
Everything matters.
James.
It's genius.
my
It's so,
God.
you're gonna have
It
a moment,
matter-
national TV game. You break it in front of
Steph did
everyone.
it. Steph did it in the Garden. It was a
I
they made
clearly
a
have
full
not
thing.
been following the league. I just pulled Lakers are 13th in the Western Conference. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
why-
some of the rumors is that he's going to break it and then shut it down for the year. And then
No,
just,
no. Where do you hear
That's
that?
wild.
I think
I've heard some
think
comments about that.
That's wild.
I'll give you the alt take is that if they were not 6 games out of the 5 seed and like if they were comfortably in the playoffs, I would be betting my life that he would have had missed games to get to there, but he can't risk missing any more
Right.
games because then they're going to
can't
miss
slip.
the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm just
So
saying, man.
what are the if you had to sell me an NBA noob right now, like what are the coolest storylines in the league? I saw the Morant dunk the other night. I know my boy Jokic continues to light the world on fire. Like, could my Nuggets actually win the NBA Finals? Is that even possible?
Yeah, they could. I think they
Yeah.
can. Why do you say no, Uncle Clay?
I'll explain that in a second too.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I just don't think that they are as it's Joker or nothing. I don't think their roster is much better than the last couple of years. Joker was dragging teams with I'm a Will Barton fan, but Will Barton's not even getting rotation minutes on the Wizards this year, and that's who he's got, with the ball. And Jamal,
Yeah, but
we'll see.
Murray's
I don't know. He's
back.
Maybe I don't know, man. I'm just not buying it. As they're going
I think Bruce
all the
Brown's
way
the
this
most undervalued player in the league.
great glue player.
And the deadline. So and in a weak West, I think they could get there. I think the Celtics would be the better team. Maybe the Sixers and the Bucks would all be better than them. But I think that a lot of people are basing the Nuggets off Jokic's shortcomings in the playoffs, but it has not been because of
apples
Nikola
and oranges.
Jokic.
Yeah, of
right.
course, of
It's
course.
like the last 2 years he hasn't had Porter Jr. or Murray, and they had the Lakers on the ropes in the Western Conference Finals in the bubble. So
No,
I think
fair.
I think that's another problem. People like the dominant teams. Like this is the most even year we've seen in a decade, and everyone's like not intrigued. The Warriors aren't good. The Lakers aren't good. That has.
I love
to
that the
go.
Grizzlies are good. That's been really fun for me. It's a great storyline. Not only is job balling this year, but they're a great team. They are
But they're
crushing
people. Trying to create a rivalry that isn't there. I don't know.
that's John's dad.
Luka's averaging 90, 40, and 17, and no one cares because he does it every night. It's just bizarre.
Well, his team also
he's
sucks.
got the Joker problem from the last 2 years where it's it's just him.
Yeah.
Luka put up 55 last night, and I didn't realize he was playing. I thought he got ruled out, and then all of a sudden I turned to the game in the third quarter, and my brother-in-law was like, "Yo, is Luka playing?" I was like, "I don't know." And we pull up, and it's he's got 45 points. We're like, "Yeah, he's playing. He's in."
At that point in the game, he had outscored his team.
Yeah, no.
Is that even entertaining?
When he was 12.
I guess my
problem.
My problem is that I think the scoring in the league has taken a major uptick, not because of obviously because they're shooting more threes, etc., because the guys are so good. But it feels like they're scoring with such ease, and it's not because they're so much better than the defense. It just feels because the defense doesn't even give a shit. Everyone will willingly there's no pride to Dame had 42 last night, and no one's holy shit, Dame dropped 42 on this guy's head. Have some pride. They're just oh well, DeJounte had 40 as well. Woo, I
mean, motherfuckers are 60 now, and everyone's just yeah, whatever.
Donovan Mitchell scored 70 points. What he scored 71, and it was it was for 48 hours. It was news. Devin
Andy,
Booker.
What's your take, Andy, on why you're not as engaged or hooked on it? I assume it's not.
I think.
A bunch of points.
No, I'm okay with people scoring points. I think that's that's interesting.
Andy likes fun. Confirmed.
I think for me, it's really just that it doesn't feel like any individual game matters that much.
Yeah.
Especially with the play-in, there's just so many teams that have a chance to make the playoffs. It's the Lakers are the 13 seed, and it's they'll still have a shot to make the playoffs. I don't know. They still have time to figure it out. It doesn't feel like there's a level of urgency for these teams that really matters. I don't think home court advantage matters enough. And so I don't think being the 1 seed is really that valuable. And so it just doesn't really feel like any individual game. It's fun when 2 really good teams play each other, but half the time one of their best players is resting anyways. And then like otherwise, who really cares?
Like the Nets played.
And so like the playoffs are really fun still, and I'm going to watch a ton of playoff games. But like the regular season
medium
games
spicy
to me,
takes in there.
But like the Nets played the Lakers last night, and like Durant's out, LeBron's out, Davis is out. Like, and Davis and LeBron are out because they wanted to play at MSG the next night. Like, I understand it's probably the most optimal thing to do is to rest and not play back-to-backs, but it sucks.
Well, JJ Redick made this point on his podcast recently, which was like the optimal like way this works out is they could shrink the schedule to like 58 games, but figure out how to make up the revenue. So that obviously the reason they were playing so many games is because of money, right? But optimally, like if you have 58 games, you're playing every team twice, and it would allow for like none of this like back-to-back situation, which is, you know, would also solve for the whole issue of like, I do get it where it's like, yeah, if you're a parent and you taking your kid to the game, you like spend all this money on tickets, you show up and you have planned this like months out, and all of a sudden, like, you know, guys are getting ruled out, the star players getting ruled out for just rest, like not in injury or whatever, right? Like it gets complicated. But then again, I'm a big player guy, so I'm like, I get it too. Like, take care of your body, the long-term investment. So I get both sides of the coin on that front. But I think, yeah, I mean, like the back-to-backs are bad. The way that the scheduling works right now is terrible. It's just not set up to be conducive from both a money standpoint and a product standpoint on the court.
Well, and the load management stuff, I mean, that was an issue way back with Greg Popovich, right? And like the late 2000s with his big three, like that's been a talking point forever. It is interesting when you think about the NFL.
The Godfather.
Like, guys miss games because they're injured, because they, you know, fucking broke their fibula, but you never hear a guy just like missing a game because he wants a rest week. Like that.
Lamar Jackson. Like the last two seasons.
Oh, man, we haven't even talked about
Getting
that.
in your own shots here.
I gotta say, yeah, Lamar.
Well, I guess this is why the points are bothering me, is because, like Andy said, it's tough to make 82 game season, each game feel meaningful, and it's 10 times tougher when no one is trying to play defense to win one of the 82. Like everyone seems to accept that allowing 125 points is like fine.
Yeah, but okay, but a counter to Andy's point though is I think the play-in tournament is helpful. I'm into it, at least because right now, to the point of the Lakers, right? The Lakers, if the play-in tournament wasn't a thing, they're not trying at this point. They're tanking.
They still would be because it's so tight in the West.
Right. Yeah. Okay, but not for much. My point being is
you've also got
help, like,
you know,
teams involved a lot later in the season.
The chat's debating whether the NBA gets better or worse post All-Star break. I mean, we're going to see a generational tank over the second half of the season. Like
nothing we've ever seen before.
And as they should, because Wembanyama is the greatest prospect in the history of the world in any sport, or to go work in the tech world, or he's probably the greatest entrepreneur ever. He's better than
tech world prospect.
Like I'm talking, like he's not just the best basketball prospect of all time,
generational human
prospect, like generational human prospect for his niche, which just happens to be basketball. So yeah, I understand why the fucking Spurs might not be interested in competing against the Grizzlies on a Tuesday night. But now the blowouts are just going to be worse. Like the Spurs are going to lose games like 200-7 in the middle of April. Like it's going to be disgusting.
Don't touch any Spurs bet or in DFS. We call that getting popped. Don't do it.
Yeah, but so Clay, I think like the one thing about the playing game and like having teams try is like I actually just don't think that's true. I think it just means that teams are like cool, as long as we're one of the 20 best teams in the league, we have a chance to win the title, and like so it doesn't really fucking matter because 6 teams are going to be tanking really hard for the top 2 players, and then there's like 23, 24 teams at any given season trying to be in the top 20 teams to make the playoffs. And so I think what it actually has done is means that like no one cares. And so it's just like there are actually way more games where no one is trying because there just is very little incentive to actually.
It's like baseball.
Good.
Like when baseball
tanking's gotten better a little bit over the last couple, like 2 years since they started the play tournament. It's like what, 2 years old now. But I feel like my point, I get what you're saying, Andy, but I think like that my take against that is just like, sure, maybe there's a few less games that people care about at this point of the season, but a lot more teams are going to be carrying a lot further into the season. Whereas like before you got to like the All-Star break, right? And then like half the league is automatically like mathematically almost eliminated or has like a minimal chance of getting to the playoffs or having a chance to make the playoffs. So like then you go from like half the league tanking to like what Jack's saying right now, which is going to be like maybe like 6 teams for sure taking, which to me, I think that's a better situation than before, but I don't know. It is interesting.
Yeah. I guess I will. I feel vindicated. You know, I could have been grinding these NBA games all along, but you guys just told me I'm not missing out on much. So I guess
I
doing
mean,
fine.
like the Knicks are
There's money
like
to be made.
the Knicks are freaking. It's not even entertaining, and they have 2 all-star caliber players. They're playing fantastic basketball, and it's like the Knicks are scoring points in like an efficient manner. Like, how is that entertaining for anyone? The Knicks are supposed to struggle in the half court to muster up buckets in the fourth quarter, and they're like getting open shots, and they're not playing defense. Tom Thibodeau's a defensive coach, and we're allowing 118 points per game.
I promise I'm not doing a bit, but I did see the highlight of the John Morant dunk from, I don't know, was that like a week or 2 weeks ago? Just like that absolutely filthy dunk. I didn't see any NBA Top Shot this. Like, did they release that moment? I'm asking in complete sincerity. Did that come out in a pack?
I have no clue. The only thing I know about Top Shot is this. I saw my moment, and then I had a friend DM me on Twitter saying that if I locked my Giannis MGLE, I would get a second one. So I was like, that seems like a good deal. I mean, I get one, like it's in my account. So it's like a free $1,200 moment popped into the account. And then I couldn't really understand what he was saying. It sounded like they were releasing all those Series 1 moments in packs. And like, given my status, I could then put my name into the drawing. So I bought $1,000 worth of packs. I had Dapper credit from that bullshit VIP thing they did. And
that's why I have Dapper credit in my wallet.
Yeah,
I had no idea what it was. All right,
yeah.
okay.
And it wasn't. Instead, it was Series 4. And so now I have 13 packs of a bunch of rubbish.
Dude, let's go. Yo, what up?
I mean, I would love to. I'll reveal all as well.
You'll hit.
When we want to end the show, I'm ready
I
to
still
go.
got some packs in the
But I
chamber.
feel like I got scammed. I was like, oh, I'm going to be able to fucking rip open some LeBron MGLEs. Like, this is going to be electric. And then I get like a series. I knew when I got an Isaiah Hartenstein, I was like, wait a second. He wasn't even in the league in Series 1, let alone on the Knicks. So what's going on here? So, yeah, I got what are these packs called? I have 12 premium packs.
Nice. Congrats on the generational
See,
wealth.
it says release 1. That seems fucking confusing to me. I don't know.
Hey,
Should we talk a
Stuff
little NFL best ball? You guys have any teams
Yeah.
left?
yeah. I did advance a few teams to the finals, but I'm super bummed because all of my stuff needed Bengals to advance to be really hot. And so I have like, I'm going to have a really nice ROI on the playoff contest. Like, shout out all my
Same.
Jag stacks for advancing me and making me money, but I'm not going to have any good Super Bowl sweats, unfortunately.
I have one gauntlet team left that was a SF Kansas City stack, and so I'm going in without a QB, obviously without Purdy. So like I'm not going to win, but
Probably not.
I do have I have a really good chunk. I have 5 Kansas City skill position players.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
I have McKinnon and Pacheco, Kelsey, MVS, and Kadarius Toney, which is like, it's like I said, it's not going to win without having a quarterback, but it can make some serious noise.
Yeah, I think if you like, one of my favorite things, if I could just hand pick a team, would be to have a couple of the random KC wide receivers, just like knowing it'll get you unique and knowing any of those guys could step up. We already saw MVS pop up for one.
Well, I feel like with both teams being first rounders, like there can't be that many people who are filling a 5-person team.
No.
Was that Jennings top the leaderboard in
Yeah,
true
Yes.
fashion?
Dude, Jennings
Who's
is
he
so
have?
rich.
Who's he have?
He was auto drafting these big mitten drafts, these $250 ones. He
I
has
did.
So he's dead.
Mixon.
He's completely dead. Burrow,
Oh, right.
Mixon,
Yeah.
Chase, Higgins. He's gonna have Tony versus Gainwell and Quez, which he's gonna make money, but he's dead.
I did 3 big mittens. I was so convinced that Buffalo was the team. and so all my shit died literally immediately.
I
I
have
also
like
got
lots
pretty
of
fucked
teams
on
like
Buffalo.
this that are advancing where it's like my quarterbacks were Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence. So I'll have like Miles Sanders and AJ Brown going. So it's just like, well, it's not that fun. But
Everyone in the chat's like, I have Miles Sanders left. All right, here we go. Hurts, Kelsey, AJ Brown, Sanders, and Goddard. So I would imagine if you got a team through and you're live, you got to be in the top. Like, how many full teams are there? There's probably only 20%.
yeah, I mean, especially in the the first wave,
Right.
not like the returns ones, but man, like,
Yeah.
having the 2 bye teams, like this is another one I advanced in Gauntlet returns. And it's just like, I have Pacheco and Kelsey. So it's just like the teams. And I think what I kind of made a calculated decision in these drafts where it was like, I'm going to draft stud players. And if that team makes it to the Super Bowl, like I'm going to be loaded. Like if it was a San Francisco, Cincinnati Super Bowl, I was going to have all the best players. And some people, and to their credit, like they were taking Gainwell and Quez Watkins and fucking Zach Pascal. And I was like, you know what? That's not how I think my best chance of winning is. But then they get there and they can feel the full lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's my Gauntlet team that made it through.
Minus 1 point.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
But so
I love the double chief. That's double chief running back is probably unique.
I was going double chief
so if San
running
Fran
back
won,
and double Bills
you were
running
lit.
back a lot. Yeah, if San Fran had won, I was going to have a totally insane team. But so this team, like I think it can finish top 50% in the finals, for sure. Sorry guys, I'm a light mode user. But then this is my one other team that's advancing. It's only a mitten returns, but it's a really solid team. I think this team has.
Having a Hurts team would be very fun.
Oh, this team's live.
This team is very live in the mitten returns.
I love that you got Kelsey and Goddard too. I think Dovey in the chat, so their team does, or the person their pod. Maybe, are you in that pod? Is this your team?
That's nice. Look at Zeke Elliott, the eyesore on this beautiful lineup.
I know, right? What could have
weighing the team down?
He was just slipping so much in the drafts by the end that it was like, it's like, all right, I'm taking him how late now? But
dude, that I wish I had a sweat like that for the Super Bowl contest because
this will be a really fun one. But I feel like I learned so much from these drafts. Like
they're so fun.
I had a couple teams that were so bad. This one,
I'm obsessed with the NBA daily drafts. Like I'm having major withdrawals not being in Underdog State right now. They're so fun.
Are they fun?
So fun.
So there's a new development that I've seen happen in the NBA dailies. It seems like there are a lot of people auto draft max entering. Just based on their own projections. And so
or not even. I've seen people do it with the ADP because like there is some merit to that too. It has worked where it's just you got to get the
it's interesting. It seems like there's like actually some real value because since it's all just super flex, you don't have to worry as much about like the stacks and stuff. And just like the way NBA is in general. But like there's a couple of guys I see in every single draft I'm doing basically, and like they're always top of leaderboards. Yeah,
they're just bankrolling it and hitting it frequently enough to make it worth it. My best days have been when I've been drafting like late afternoon and start to get a grasp on like the injury report and they start to find some takes on like who's getting ruled out and who isn't, and then you try to just kind of like beat ADP in those regards or take a player stand, or if LeBron, Jokic, and Embiid are all like going top 3, right? But they're all questionable, and knowing that 2 of those guys are really likely to get ruled out, but people are still drafting them consistently, like in the top 2 picks. Like that's where you can start to find some like edges and stuff. But the other part of the game being very interesting is there is the element where you can just get lucky and auto draft like the nuts that night off of like, because most of the time, by the time you get out of the ADP range, it's players who aren't going to have any chance of putting up enough PRA to get there.
And just like pure game theory wise, that's how you should be handling it. Like the ADP is most valuable right before the contest locks or fills because there's the most sample size and the wisdom of the crowds. Whereas early on, you should be IKBing it as much as possible because there's not enough, data to set in yet.
The injury wrinkle with the game is really fascinating too, because the surprise inactives are really wild. Or like, if this went live last night and LeBron's ruled out, LeBron's not getting drafted, and then all of a sudden he gets ruled in and he starts getting drafted. So like that part's really interesting too. The news just impacts the slate so drastically day to day.
Yeah.
Have you guys done any way too early Super Bowl drafts?
Oh yeah, those just launched today. I have not done a
What
Super
are the
Bowl one yet.
options for those?
They rolled out a bunch today.
Yeah.
I'm
They
doing
have-
1,000 to win $20,000 pick 'em for the Super Bowl.
I love that
Oh,
they
yeah.
rolled out the $1,000 pickups.
Yeah.
Also, we could track pick.
Well, I'm pissed. I'm pissed that they fucking the max bet on, or sorry. That's not what I meant to say. Delete this. Scrub that. The max amount you can play on the fantasy projection is 2,000 for NBA. So I wanted to do 2,000 for 40,000, but NFL for some reason 1,000. So we'll be game planning at the Underdog House in Phoenix.
Yeah. Jack and I will both be out there flying out. What is that? A week from Thursday is when I'm going out. You're going to be out there earlier, right, Jack?
I'm going on Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Should be a good time. I think we're going to swing by. I heard Jack go to the Waste Management Open on Friday. I heard. Is the plan?
Yeah.
They have a whole team outing.
I think so. At least
That's
a few of
fun.
us.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a good squad out there. I
Yeah.
requested Cliff Bars at the house so I could beat up Rudman by the end of the week.
Yeah, Rudman's gonna be
That's
making
what
out to
it
this
takes.
one.
Yeah, that's what I put in my request.
So yeah, I haven't done one of the Super Bowl ones. I do like that they made it, super flex. I mean, you basically had to, otherwise it would be 2-man
Yeah.
drafts. I would say like the Chiefs actually make this format probably like more interesting than it should be, just because they have
Because they
to
have
go
so much depth
deep.
of like random dudes
Yeah.
who are gonna do stuff. Yeah.
We'll just chalk it up.
I don't know. It is interesting they kept like the quarterbacks though in the super flex.
I mean, they do that, and they also have kickers too, which is
Well,
I never know what to do with the fucking kickers.
I do think when you now look at we can see here what a first round will look like as far as the 2v2s, like the talent gap kind of works out like decently, I'd say, like getting AJ Brown and Devonta, Kelsey and Sanders to compete with a Mahomes Pacheco, or, I guess the one hole still here is
one hole is
pretty dominant.
loading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
you guys like
I
the-
did one
the
draft
I feel like
with
the
you,
two.
and it was
Yeah.
Felt
I
okay.
definitely, I wouldn't be drafting 100% in my portfolio, but I would definitely be sprinkling some in. Man, taking Harrison Butker over Juju Smith-Schuster, I guess. But I feel like if I'm just gonna just rip Eagles here.
Double.
I had this. This is what my first. My
Which
first
one?
one was this, but for Chiefs. I had like Mahomes.
You gotta
Making
take a
MVS.
K2,
Yeah.
It's a game of
Wow.
fantasy. Overzet. 2 players from 2 different teams. Come on.
Nicole over
Well,
Sky.
one player is
Brain
all I
takes a
had to
hit.
take.
Whatever. 2 players total from 2 different teams.
I really like
No.
the championship weekend format, like the 3-person drafts. I thought those were like really
Yeah.
fun for those games too, because
Those
like,
were fun.
everyone got a quarterback. The teams felt like there was a lot of like kind of evenness to them, but there was still like a lot of thinking about who you're drafting and player selection stuff. I had a blast with it. I thought they were a lot of fun.
Why would you draft the backup quarterback 100% of the time?
Well, I would.
If
do it
you don't want to
100%.
have any money,
Right.
you can do that.
I don't
just
even
like-
understand why that would be a decent strategy.
Just because it's going to be really hard to get a unique roster in these, and because if it's super flex, like if you had an injury early on,
It's the same
be
thesis as like
so.
when people max enter the showdown slates on like DK or something.
Yeah,
and
but they don't
do,
play it
like, 1 or 2 with the back-
100%.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a little bit facetious, but
like you are going to probably it's either going to be like a complete dupe fest where the same lineup chops it like 400 times, or you draft a guy like fucking Marcus Kemp and like his one.
Why
touchdown
can't they
catch ends up
why
being the
can't they
difference.
do why can't they do deeper rosters?
It's just not enough players.
There is though. Like you could get Marky Kemp, or
Well,
you
you
could
can
have
fire him up, Jack. You can draft.
no, but
Marcus
I don't
Kemp.
want to. I don't want to draft Kemp 100% of the time in the 4th round, but maybe in the 7th round. Yeah, let's see what you guys like here.
you think it's on Underdog's roadmap to do IDP players for single game slates?
I mean,
That'd be wild.
some other influencer is going to have to take that baton.
What's I don't even know what that is.
Individual
defensive
defensive players.
It means Overzet would finally have to learn defensive players' names.
I did
never
learn Chris
happening.
Jones over the weekend, so we're adding some.
Jalen Hurts yards under lower law.
Jack Underman these days.
Yeah. Who else do we like? AJ Brown Fade Fest has been a cash cow.
Dude, 1 TD in the past 6 games for AJ Brown.
Crazy. Smitty's like the number 1 right now. It's
Yeah.
insane. I think the Sanders one is cheeky because it's his highest projection of the playoffs. Actually, maybe the Giants who is higher, but they've been saving him. This would be the game I ride Sanders and fade. I don't know if I would fade Gainwell though. He looks so good.
Didn't he just score 2 touchdowns?
Who? Sanders?
Yeah.
He had 2 carries in the second half.
He had 2
I know
touchdowns.
that because I had
We're
his
in my weekend.
I had his lower rushing yard. McKinnon also hasn't gotten any touches in the playoffs.
Dude,
Yeah,
the Eagles have been nails against tight ends. I know it's Kelsey, but 78.5 is a big number.
Wait, so this week Kelsey was the Discord boost, and it was total yards 78.5, and he had like whatever 60 something in the first half, and then he caught that pass that got ruled back, and then he didn't get another catch and finished at 78 total yards.
I can't believe were there
brutal.
pitchforks asking
Refund.
Underdog to pay off? Yeah, refund.
I mean, I had burned my boost and didn't hit the other legs of it, so it didn't matter. But
Actually, Jack, if you want a free content play, I'll credit my friend Adam Rosenberg from Action Network for this one. But he tweeted out like somebody should go to a IRL sportsbook desk and ask for a refund in person. And that would just be an incredible video of just like.
But people do that. I feel like people do that shit.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they do it in person. I can't imagine. Well, you think somebody's really walking up to like the Vegas sportsbook doing that?
Yes.
It would need to be like
People
a
are
very exaggerated
psychopaths.
excuse. You'd be like, dude, my guy, he's like, LeBron looked really winded in the fourth quarter. I think you should refund that. Like he just
Right,
wasn't at
I think he
full
might have had
lung capacity.
COVID or something.
No,
I don't
or
know.
it's like I sprained my ankle, like and this guy sprained his ankle, and like I know how bad it feels. Like, give it back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it'll be definitely looking forward to this game. I mean, for my bags, I wanted Bengals. Like I thought Bengals Eagles would have been pretty fun. But assuming the Chiefs receivers can get fucking healthy, this should be a pretty fun game. If not, like, I mean, I can't watch Patrick Mahomes thrown to Marcus Kemp. Like, I'm sorry.
Who do you
I
guys
think
like
Philly's
in the
gonna
game?
win.
Yeah, but
I do too. I blasted off hard on Philly right when that line opened.
did you get him at plus money?
Did you get him plus?
No, I wasn't that fast. I got him
Yeah.
at -1.
I saw him
now
at plus
it's-
110, and I didn't hit it. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I got distracted, and I went back and was swung hard. But
I
That
think
was
you could
crazy.
get.
It
I
opened
think
at 2.5, -2.5 Chiefs, and swung all the way like
All the way.
5-point swing.
I
one
don't
point.
think that's that crazy. Like I actually think a lot of the line movement was based on the health of the Chiefs. Like as they get healthy, Mahomes 2 more weeks for the ankle, and then I think what's his name? Who's the slot corner?
Sneed.
Who? Yeah. Hey, there you
Hey,
go.
defense.
There you go.
Wow.
Sneed, and then I assume like all the guys should be a go. Maybe not Miko, but I think it'll get back to closer to even. I would imagine.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, the same thing happened with the Bengals where they swung to like -2, and then
Right.
it then swung back.
Yeah, Justin Watson will be back from his illness. I mean, the Chiefs should be relatively healthy. No one suffered a serious injury. But I was at the game in 2020, the Bucks Chiefs game, and it was just like it feels kind of similar to me. Like the Eagles are just better at 48 positions.
Yeah. And the one thing I have in my head for the Mahomes, like he obviously played great, but he had that one rollout where he threw on the bad ankle. And I was like, oh shit, is he like done? He was in so much pain when he had to put all the pressure on that for that throw.
He was hopping around after that for a little bit.
Yeah.
The great equalizer will be, it looks like maybe there's a little bit of a playbook on how to force Hurts into being a passer and
And
cutting
he looked
off.
rough, admittedly.
He did not look good. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the score of that game, like the Eagles scored 31 points, but in a game, if that was a normal quarterback situation, their offense really didn't look that good.
awful.
I just think
Dude.
like if the public just falls in love with the Eagles, as it seems like it's going to be the case, and it starts really getting very heavy in that regard, like to me, Chiefs kind of feel due. I don't know. They've been circling the Super Bowl button for a little bit now and haven't won. So I'm kind of back. I don't know. I'm cool
Philly's
either
the
way.
better team. Philly's the better
For sure,
team.
for sure.
But it's Patrick Mahomes.
It's Mahomes, man. I don't like betting against Mahomes.
No, Mahomes plus money, same as Brady plus money. It's like you just continue to smash that button over time, and you'll be all right. But it'll lose from time to time.
Yeah. Poker Pro Eric trying to get us back on track. Get this show back on track. How many trade tickets does Andy have?
I have never once acquired a trade ticket.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what we're trying to get back in a little rhythm here for the show. We need to huddle a little bit more, but we will hopefully be back. I won't necessarily promise our regular cadence, but we will do our best to get things fired up. Always enjoy chopping it up with these guys. Anything else that should be on people's radars? Andy, we didn't get to talk about Tessera much here. Anything going on for you guys there?
We can talk about it next week. We have some stuff that hopefully can talk about next week. And so if we do this again next week, hopefully I can talk about some fun announcements that we've had over the last little bit.
Sweet. Looking forward to it. Jack?
Yeah, Willis's comment. Have you guys seen the tweet? The guy's predicted like 5 years ago. He predicted the last five. He has the Eagles, the Bills next year. So if the Eagles win, get your Bills futures in.
Are we sure this isn't just like a Twitter blue where he has access to the
No. It actually is bizarre. And the next five are like all with like the Jags are in there in a couple years. Like it's all within the realm of yeah. So maybe Eagles money line is the play. I don't know, but I'm crowdsourcing 5 picks for my Super Bowl slip. $1,000 to win $20,000. What will I do when I win the 20,000? I will get in a floaty at Underdog's Super Bowl Lazy River, and I'll see you guys next time.
Okay. Now everyone's definitely feeling good about the stakes now for that, Jack. You and a floaty. Clay, what about you, buddy?
Yeah. Well, I got some breaking news real quick that I want to share today on the podcast.
Whoa.
We got a really fun March Madness event coming that we haven't even fully officially shared in our Discord yet, but we will be soon. If y'all familiar with Friday Beers, they have a really cool IRL location in Nashville, and we're going to be taking it over on March 18th for a March Madness extravaganza party. We open to the public, but doing some special stuff for our Knights holders. So if you're local or want to come through, definitely come hang out with us. Stay locked for some announcements there. And then, yeah, Jack.
Well, I just want to say I love that you stay within the theme of the show, because leaking news without like talking to the rest of the team is like Top Shot's MO. So doing the same thing for Knights is quality.
Is Clay leaking it?
No, we're locked and loaded, baby. We lit. But Jack, you're playing behind the 8 ball, my guy, in this whole Uncle Jack thing. And I thought we might do our first unboxing here on the club today. This has been in my apartment for way too long, but it's on the way to April, and got a little something coming from real Uncle Clay.
I'm so excited. Oh,
Wow.
Look at that.
Those are sick.
Those are fire.
Wow.
The problem is, did you get the shoe size? Because I have the shoe size.
Jack, I don't need a shoe size, my guy. I'm actually an uncle. I know baby footwear now. We out here.
I was talking to someone yesterday who had gotten us some onesies, and he was like, "Yeah, I've never bought onesies," and I thought the 3M to 6M was like meters or something. He was like trying to figure out the size and not knowing.
The 6-meter child.
The 6-meter child. That's Wembayama. That is literally
Generational human.
Generational. No, thank you, Clay. That's very nice of you.
Those
I'm
are
excited.
sick.
Right now, we're just in like when my mom was here, she had like got her some of these like elaborate outfits. And then you quickly realize when you have a newborn and you're needing to change them all the time that like you just want the simplest outfit possible. And I was like, Mom, I'm putting this on one time for you.
Yeah.
And then we're going back to the photos.
It's for photos. We bought our nephew a new outfit and he shit through it 5 hours later. And or his mom was trying to get us to go return it. She's like, he can hardly wear it. He fit into like another week. We're like, it's fine. Just like put him in it once. It'll make us feel good. 5 minutes later, just blows the whole thing out. We're like, all right, well, that was fun while it lasted. That's
I've been there.
I've had the exact same experience buying clothes for Allie.
Well, thank you, Clay. We will have to do. My child is sleeping right now, but per Peter Jennings tradition, we'll have to get April make it a club debut here soon enough. Thank you, Clay. Thank you guys for hanging out. Like I said, I'll keep you posted. We'll try to do better, giving you more advance notice next time here. But yeah, stay tuned for more details and enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.